Hello and welcome to IT Security Labs. Today I'm going to go through part of the red teaming path on Tryhackme. So if you're interested in learning, there's learning path. I'm going through the red teaming here. If you see on this path, I've already gone through several rooms. I'm at 42%. So I decided to show you how I'm completing these rooms. I'm doing Windows local persistence. So under Windows local persistence here, you will notice that there's several tasks that you need to complete. I did most of these. I'm going to show you how you can gain persistence on a system using Logon triggered persistence. So this is where we are. First thing that we need to understand is with Logon triggered persistence, there are multiple ways. First one being we can add a malicious script to a startup folder. In this case, if we want every time any of the users sign in, we can put our payload in the C, program data, Microsoft, Windows, start menu, program startup. So we will probably start with that right now. The walkthrough here says, hey, generate your payload using MS of Venom. So I'm just going to do it that way. I'm using Tryhackme's attack box. What is my IP address? In this case, it's going to be, this is the one that we're going to be using instead of the tunnel one. 10.10.113. So this is our attack IP. Let's paste our command here, copy the IP address, and replace that with the attack IP. We can also use like ETH0 here, but in this case, we're going to put the actual IP address. All right, our payload has been created. If I do an ls, you'll notice that I now have my rev.exe. So this needs to be put in the startup folder so that when people sign in, we can actually persist. So what do? We set up a Python simple HTTP server on our Kali Linux machine. So we're saving the file. Now we need to go to our victim and deliver that file on the Windows machine. I already signed in using remote desktop. So all we need to change is the attacker underscore IP, which we just found to be 10.10.114.213. If I do an ls here, here's my rev.exe. You can see it's intact. So next, they tell us, hey, we need to move that payload from here. We need to copy it so that it's in the startup folder. That way, every time the system starts up, it gets executed. So there we go. All right, there's our rev.exe in the startup. All right, so now we need to listen on the port so that we can actually get a reverse shell and sign out and start the system. Naked minus LV and P on the port 4450. We're going to listen. We can use multi-handler here as well, but I think we should get it back like this. So we need to log out. Okay, so if we click on the administrator name here, there's a sign out option. So the administrator has been signed out. We can reconnect. And while that is happening, we can also check here, make sure that we get our reverse shell. There we go. So we sign out and we sign back in. If we do a who am I, we're in as administrator. So we successfully completed all the steps that were here just for that section. So the newly obtained root shell execute. Okay, so in this shell, we should be able to execute this and get our new flag. There we go. So now execute this to get flag 10. And we get it, like 10, submit. The answer is correct. Okay. Next, so that was persistence by just copying a reverse shell to the startup folder. We also have this run once options here. You can also force a user to execute a program at Logon via the registry. So that's the second one. Instead of delivering your payload into a specific directory, like the startup, you can use the following registry entries. So we have all these locations here. and this will force the user to run the executable. So the registry entries are under HKU only apply to current user. Those under HKLM will apply to everyone. So any program specified under the run keys will run every time the user logs on. Under run ones will only be executed a single time. So under run, we have one for everyone, one for the user. Okay, so let's generate a new one with MSF Venom. We do it the same exact way. Go back to Kali. Now let's exit out of that shell. Generate this reverse shell. Then we need to change attacker IP to our IP address. Let's wait for it. All right, so right now if I do an ls, here's my rev.exe. As you can imagine, we need to host it using Python, simple HTTP server. Then let's go back here. I like PowerShell ISE. So we need to say, so we have revshell.exe. Can I just remove it? ls. Okay, yep, it's gone. Now I need to rerun the setutil command, 10.10.114. And this one says it's on port 8000. Is that really the port that we're servicing here? Yep, that's the default one. So we got it. And we should be able to hit enter. And here's our rev.exe. Okay, so after moving it, this is where they come here and say, okay, after moving it, we need to say move it to C Windows. This is the location where our registries will get it from. And let's see. We should see our rev.exe right here. So we moved it successfully. And here it is. Okay. Then let's create a registry under this location. The entry name can be anything you like, and the value will be command you want to execute. So we need a registry under this path here. After doing this, sign out of the session and log back in. Okay, how do we create this registry here? So we need to go to HKLM, that's the system one, software, Microsoft Windows current version run. Okay, let's do it. Page edit. Okay, computer local machine software. Did I go to the wrong place? Yeah, that's correct. Computer local HK local machine software Microsoft Windows current version. So software Microsoft, expand Microsoft, we go to Windows, expand Windows current version. Okay, run. So under current version, we are looking for run. And here's run. Okay, so you see we have two here. We need to create a third one. In this case, we can name it whatever we want. It's named my backdoor. New. Here it is. Expand as Z. You've been hacked. That's what I'm going to name it. And for its value, let's modify it. For its value is C. I know Windows is not case sensitive, but I will just put it with capital just to be safe. And properly spelled Windows. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Next says, after doing this, sign out and log back in, you receive a reverse shell. Just to verify and confirm, the only thing that I did was not name it the same exact name. But didn't they say for this task, you are required to use my backdoor to receive the flag? My backdoor. It needs to be named my backdoor. New. Okay, so this one, if I modify, see, if I do that, then I need to delete this one. Yeah, hacked. You can go. Now let's sign out and sign back in. So even though we get a shell, the name somehow it's gotta be good. Otherwise, we don't get any credit. So click here, sign out, reconnect. 5 seconds, and we get a shell. So now, if we try to find flag, we should get the flag. Interesting. All right. So if you only can follow instruction, our things will be good. Another alternative to automatically start programs on Logon is abusing WinLogon. So the Windows component that loads your user profile after authentication. So WinLogon registries, again, another registry are located here. And that will be interesting to gain persistence. User init points to user init.exe, which is in charge of restoring your user profile preferences. Then shell points to the shells system shells explorer. Okay, so these are the two interesting things. So you're going to replace any of the executable with some reverse shell, which is in design. Interesting, you can append commands. So we can use MS of Venom and say, hey, generate a reverse shell. Then we can move that. Then we will append a second command. So run this one and run that one. So that's what we're going to do. This time we are 4452, so we're incrementing our port by 1. So localhost is going to be 10 rev.exe. So we will do a setutil here and just download it. Okay. Python 3 -m to host it, HTTP server. Then we need to move it to our victim. Oh, I already don't have it here because I moved to the last one. So do I have my history here with setutil? It says refshell.exe. In this case, we just generated another one, refshell.exe. So we are ready to go. Let's move it. Right in here, if we hit enter and ls, here's my ref shell. Now back here, we need to move it to C Windows. But before I do that, we need ls C Windows. You notice that I still have my previous ref shell here. So remove C Windows ref shell.exe. Then we rerun my ls, make sure that it's not there. Then we can now run this move here. That way we only have one. I'm pretty sure it will overwrite it, but I want to be sure. Okay, so with the new reverse shell that has been generated, we can alter either shell or user init in this location. We're going to use user init, but procedure can be done with shell. So we need to go to just back to this location here. Microsoft Windows NT is down here. Current version. Let's expand current version. If you go down here, here's WinLogon. So if we click on that, this is where we see here's our shell. If we edit, they say we can do both. How do we edit? We could separate it by a comma. Let's do that. We are going to change it then. They said shell should work, but obviously it didn't work for me. So let's go and check the one that they actually used. In this case, they used user init. They said shell and user init should work under WinLogon. So we're going to do it with user init. Modify. Okay. See Windows. And the name, I want to make sure that we did it correctly. It was revshell.exe. That's exactly what we have. So revshell.exe. There we go. We're going to sign out and sign back in. Okay, we signed out. Set up our listener. come back, sign back in. All right, and this one was immediate as well. Maybe this time it says it might take 10 seconds, so we'll give it a 10 seconds if it doesn't give me my flag, because I need my flag. All right, I insist go first. Okay, so one final flag here on persistence. I hope you're learning a little bit about Windows persistence, because I'm definitely learning interesting ways. Very easy though. So one of the things user init.exe does while loading the user profile is check the environment variable. We can use this environment variable to assist in login script to a user that will get run when logging in the machine. So the variable is set by default, so we can just create and assign it. Notice that each user is its own environment variable. Therefore, you need to backdoor each separately. Okay, I don't mind. I just need one. So ms of venom. So ms of venom. This ls here. Remove rev .exe because we need a clean one on a different port this time. 4453. So it's 10.10, and this will generate our ms of venom reverse shell. And let's serve Python. So let's serve it from there. Here we're going to start a listener on our new port 3. All right. So what are we doing here? We need to do a registry editor in the environment variable. Registry editor. What is the full path? Because nobody has that memorized. Current user environment. Oh, this is an easy one. So we can only do this once. So here's the environment. We use the user init MSP login script. User init MSP login script. Okay. New. There we go. So we're going to name it exactly this, because we've been burnt before. Okay. Then if we modify, all right. We're missing a slash. All right. So if all works well, we need to move our reverse shell here. Okay. Okay, remove C Windows revshell.exe. Now let's move the new one. All right, that's all it took. Now we sign out. No, we don't want to save. We just need to sign out and sign back in. So we're waiting. Sign back in. We should get a reverse shell. Good. So now find our final flag 13. No problems this time. And this is really fun stuff. I hope you like this. Oh, so what? What did I do this time? So according to the Tryhackme forums, for flag 13, it's actually not working. So I'm not crazy. For starters, someone said they managed to get it by completely close the machine down and restart a fresh system. Really? Okay, I'm going to do that. There we go. And here we are. So moment of truth here. Do we actually get our flag 13? If it doesn't work this time, I think there's a big bug in there somehow, and it's unfortunate. Okay, so if you want to get flag 13, get a fresh machine. Because there we go. Same machine that I got used to get all the other flags didn't work, but After restarting it and getting a new one, we gain click 18. So we completed Persistence. So that was the win room on Persistence. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go through the backdooring login screen and Persistence here and any other path in the red team path. Otherwise, thank you for being here. Appreciate you, and I hope to see you next time.